Hello, everyone. My name is Davonne Reaves, and thank you for tuning in to my channel. Every week, the goal is to come to you all with different topics on hotel ownership. So this segment is called Hotel Ownership Unplugged, and today we're going to be talking about New Orleans. So I recently just visited New Orleans for my How to Buy a Hotel tour and this past weekend, and I had an amazing time. And we toured the Dewdrop Inn Hotel, which is Black owned. It was a historical hotel, so stay tuned. I'm gonna do a write up on it and about the whole experience. I'll make sure I share that. And I got a chance to talk to um, some inspiring hotel owners, some current hotel owners and investors. People travel from near and far to learn more about hotel ownership. And I learned more about the hotel ownership market in New Orleans. So there's a lot of independent hotels as well as brand. I swear I saw just about every hotel brand there. And so I stayed at the Higgins. The Higgins Hotel was absolutely a beautiful hotel. It's part of the Curio collection. So for those who don't know what it is, Curio was a soft brand, part of Hilton, the Hilton collection, Hilton brand. And it was just beautiful. It was next to the World War II Museum. That was my first time knowing that the museum owns a hotel. So the museum actually owned that particular hotel, and it was like a museum. So every room was dedicated to a family member who was fallen or they fought during World War II. So I just thought it was a wonderfully done hotel. It had a rooftop. They were doing some work on it. They had a pretty cool restaurant. And it was a really good experience from the customer service, just from the rooms, just the attention to detail. I'm a history buff, so I just enjoyed it. The food was really good, and yeah, just had a good time. So, but the event was actually at the Homewood, so it was a 2-day event. So the first day was at the Dewdrop Inn in New Orleans. Like I said, a historical hotel, Black owned hotel. So a lot of the late greats stayed there and performed there. James Brown and Louis Armstrong. So I got a chance to meet the owner who came in and renovated, became a passion project, and it became something he wanted to see revitalized. So Curtis Dusant, which I have to bring him on the show so we can get more information from him to see. He did a really good job of sharing the story and talking about the project and talking about how he invested his personal money, and how the family. So it was good to hear that story. And that's a museum. That was a museum as well. So every room, it had a story behind it. It was a little Richard room, and the civil rights room. So it was a really good moment, and we were able to tour the hotel, and Mr. Dusant was able to give us a tour as well. So that was the first night. And then the next day, we had a fireside chat with it was myself and John Rayford. And actually, before I get to Saturday, let me give a shout out to our sponsors. So the New Orleans Black Chamber and Chase, they sponsored our reception. So I really can't even move to Saturday to talk that. And then Saturday was sponsored by the Vonne Group for the Incorporated New Orleans chapter. So they sponsored the Saturday. So we were at the Homewood Suites French Quarter, and for those who don't know, it's an extended stay. So we're in our meeting space, and we just talked about hotel ownership, the different components of hotel ownerships. Was a lot of development questions because there were a lot of development folks in the room, and they were developing. So I noticed in the New Orleans market with the independent hotels, there were a lot of. Let me pull some stats up, right? So, uh, so I would say that I was just like I said, I was doing some research, right? And so it's like there's like 142 hotels in the New Orleans area. And so that equates to about 26,000 rooms. And then, it's like what 130,000 festivals that come to New Orleans that are in New Orleans each year. Then you have Bourbon Street, so a lot of travelers coming. You have Super Bowl coming next year in 2025, and then you have the Mardi Gras that's annually, right? And so what I heard in the conversation that there is a need for more hotel rooms. And so I noticed that a lot of the developers that they're converting buildings into hotels. I had a chance to talk to one of the brokers there, which I'm probably going to bring on the show too, Chris Ross. So stay tuned for that. And he was giving me some insight as well on what that looks like in the New Orleans market. And a lot of people are converting. When I was meaning converting, office buildings to hotels, multifamily buildings to hotels or to boutique hotels. And so, like I said, the developers that were at the event, they would buy a multifamily and they would convert it, to a 10-room hotel or 15-room hotel. So it was really interesting to see that. And I was excited that we were able to have an event there. So shout out to Jar Rayford. We were both members of the National Society of Minorities in Hospitality, and we talked about so she's more on the operational side of background. She has more operational experience than I do. Now we'll talk more so from a hotel ownership perspective, and how you can really get your time in that space. And so that was my news, really. That was my news. That was my update. Stay tuned. I definitely want to do some more. I was inspired. I love history and I love hotels. So to combine history and hotels, I think it was just such a really good moment and feeling. And so, like I said, stay tuned. I will be having more folks come on talking about hotels, so that way you all can learn. Even and this is just good for first time hotel owners, existing hotel owners. I love to learn about new different things, and the biggest things I love to experience history. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Next week we will have a special guest talking about a hotel owner, and she's a hotel owner, so I can't wait to see her. So stay tuned for next week. I also want to say September 15th is when the goal of creating 200 real estate investors. Tommy got me, said I need to increase it, so I'm increasing 200 real estate investors, which includes 100 hotel owners and investors that I want to do in 100 days. The challenge starts on 7/15. I would love for you to join me. I would love for you to be a part of it. I created 90 hotel owners and investors earlier this year, and the goal is to create more the end of 2024.